So working in chapter 4, section 1, we're working with probability distribution tables. So some of the questions ask us to export the data out to Excel to create a probability distribution table. So basically, what we can do here is the overtime hours are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is kind of frequency. You know, 8 employees do 0 overtime hours, 10 work 1, 32 work 2, 53 work 3, 44 employees do 4, 27 employees work 5, 18 employees work 6. Now, to do probability distribution, I'm going to create another column here. We'll call it P of X. I think that's kind of what the book is doing. So this is our probabilities of each one. Um, Now, to do a probability, I don't have all the shortcuts here, but basically, the first thing I needed to do is find out how many employees are involved. So I need to add up this column here. So underneath, I'm going to do equals and sum. And then I want to just click on sum, and then I'm going to drag the fields in that I want. So B2 to B8. And then I can close that off there and hit enter. So I have 192 employees overall. Now, do probability, it's the number of desired outcomes over the total outcomes. So we have 8 out of 192 would give me that. So if I come over here and go equals 8 divided by 192, it would give me my probability of 0.0416. Now, instead of doing this every time, I want to just kind of create a formula. So what I can do in creating a formula, I can hit equals, and I can do uh, B2 is my desired number of employees. And then what I want to do is divide that by 192, which would be in B9. So if I do that, that'll give you that probability. And what you usually could do is you can just click and drag, and that would fill in the rest of the fields. But what happens though is not only is it changing the B2 field, but notice if I click here, it's not using B B3 divided by my B9, it's actually moving to B10. So this 192 is not staying locked. So my formula is all messed up. So I can't do it that way. I can't just click and drag. Now, what I can do though with my formula is dollar signs actually lock in the 192. So if I come up here and put a dollar sign in front of the B and a dollar sign in front of the 9, that makes that B9 a fixed field. So now if I come down here, highlight this, and if I grab this corner and drag, it'll do the probabilities. And notice if I click down here, notice how the B3 is the 10, but notice how the dollar sign is actually required to stick with the 192. So it creates all the probabilities for us. Now, another thing I want to do is I want to kind of round, see if I can make this thing round to 3 decimal places. So I'll go up here to general. If I change it to number, notice how it goes out to 2 decimal places. But if I want to increase decimal place, if I go here and hit right one, oops, went the wrong way. Increase decimal place, I have to go to the left one. So if I go left one, it'll take it out 3 decimal places. So now if I click and drag this back through, it should rename all the fields where it's rounding to 3 decimal places. So it rounds for me to 3 decimal places. So notice how 0.041 would actually be 0.042. Now again, if I type here and go equals, and if I do 10 divided by 192, I can kind of double check my work. So notice that it's going to be 0.052, and that stays right as well. So that kind of does it a little bit quicker for me. So what I again can do here is if I clear this all out here, walk you back through. So to create a formula, I hit equals, and I want the field B2 divided by the B9 cell. Now, if I hit enter, it does that one just fine. But if I go back up here to lock in the 192, the B9, I have to use dollar signs to make it a fixed value. So if I put a dollar sign in front of the B and a dollar sign in front of the 9, notice how it doesn't change anything. But now when I click and drag, it's going to use the 192 as my bottom number every time. So it'll generate my probabilities rather quickly. So then I could use this to complete my probability distribution for those that want us to do the probability distribution.